welcome to The Magnate. On this week's edition of the program, we bring you a very beautiful story. When you hear of grass to grace, or somebody who has traversed virtually all parts of the Federation, adding value in where he has served, who is our magnate for the week, let us bring you this background report, a profile report of our magnate. When we come back, he's here live to share his thoughts and story with us. And I'm sure we call this program Mentoring on Television, taking tips from the veterans. You will have a lot of story to take away on this episode of the program. We'll be back shortly.
The story of Alhaji Aruna Osumah is what can be likened to grace, with a lot of resilience, doggedness, steadfastness and determination to succeed. Born on 24 December 1949 into the family of Osumah Enesome, Ekhalefo and Asanat Elias Oyaso, both of blessed memory. Chief Alhaji Dr. Aruna Osumah hails from Iyakwe, South Ibie Kingdom in Isako West Local Government area of Edo State. Despite his spectacular successes in his 70 eventful years on earth, the great Igenegba is an embodiment of humility, a virtue that has endeared him to many in and outside the shores of Nigeria. This also enabled him to build a vast network of friends and associates in business, politics, religion, and other social spheres of human endeavors. He is widely traveled and an unrepentant lover of sport and reading. He is the author of the book, A Journey of Hope, a biography of Asanat, the first published in 2015. Interestingly, Alhaji Chief Dr. Aruna Osumah's first contact with Western education was in 1954 when he was admitted to the Muslim primary school, South Ibie. He completed his first leaving school certificate examination in 1960. Thereafter, Chief Osumah enrolled for a vocational study at the Catholic Secondary Model School, South Ibie, between 1961 and 1967, a pursuit that was prematurely terminated following the outbreak of Nigerian Civil War in 1967. This led to his relocation from South Ibie to Lagos, which turned out to be a major turning point in his life despite the travels. In recognition of his business acumen, Chief Osumah was awarded an honorary doctorate degree in business administration by the City University of Los Angeles, USA. In 2016, Chief Osumah was one of Total Oil's major transporters selected for a Total Transporters Convention in France when he came out as the second best major transporter for Total Nigerian PLC. Chief Alhaji Aruna Osumah Ekhalefo is the Chairman Managing Director, CEO of Magnate Nigeria Limited. He is a community leader, traditional chief, philanthropist, astute businessman, leader in mainstream oil and gas sector, scholar, devoted family man, and philosopher of high repute, popularly called the Igenegba of the universe.
Welcome back. It's my pleasure to welcome to the Magnate for the week. Those who are close to him call him the Igenegba of South Ibie. It's my pleasure to welcome a business magnate, a mogul, Chief Dr. Aruna Ekhalefo Osumah. You're welcome to the Magnate, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us, sir.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you.
Yes, we've listened to your beautiful story. I mean, a little bit about you. Now it is for you to endorse what we have heard in the area of a profile that we have packaged for you. Tell us, how did life start with you? I mean, this program, we are focusing on your business sojourn, your career growth.
Well, it's pertinent to say I came to Lagos during the war, Nigerian Civil War in 1967. And at that time, you see some families really love each other. There's peace. People love them. So, I came in and I had a very good friend of mine, Ablejesha. I went to him, who actually led me to my sister's place. And I got there, what do I have to do? I have to hustle to survive. And I have a vision. Before I left the village, okay, my vision was to struggle, make, end meet in this Lagos and be able to go back home.
To give back.
And I give back to my parents, for whom I know the condition they were before I left home.
Okay.
So as we progress on a daily basis, you have to move out of the house. You trek to Apapa wharf side, you look at signboards where they will need laborers, see a lot of people queuing. And you queue along with them. You may be lucky to be selected for the day, and then when you maybe at the end of the day,
to do what, sir?
Any midnight job like cleaning, like also assisting in lifting some products like kerosene and other things into railways. We have coaches.
Okay.
So I was, if you're able to load a coach, you'll be given 1 shilling 6 pence.
Wow.
And when you earn the 1 shilling and 6 pence, the supervisor will take the 6 pence from you, because if you want to be taken again tomorrow.
Okay, I'm curious. Why did you have to do that? Couldn't you just apply to any of these companies and get an employment?
Okay, that's where education comes in.
Okay.
In my life, I only had a primary 6.
Okay,
when
I came to Lagos.
Yes, when I came to Lagos, I had only primary 6, and that can take me nowhere. So all the adverts you meet at the entrance of companies, you found that minimum qualification, GCE, equivalent, it was already about. So I continue to do all this midnight job and going for lessons, where of course to make sure that I got a prime job. So eventually I sat for my GCE and I had 3 credits. So with that, a Nigeria bottling company engaged me as one of their sales representatives, and I have the opportunity now to start exploring, going around Lagos, scouting for sales, all the way to Kurudu town with one tiny road, all the way from Papa, even in this Ikeja is all bushy. You can only find a tiny way to the testing ground, where you have, try and sell as much as possible, so that you could, make good end, because each crate you sell, you'll be given 1 kobo.
Commission?
Yes. And then plus the salary.
Of course, the salary was there.
Yes,
that was by the side.
Just £4. So that on and on, I can tell you that the very, very first payment, at the end of the month, I got my £4. I went home and built a small hut for my mother.
£4?
Well, I just went home and make sure that, I brought my mother out of, because he was sexually not sharing, people migrating within the, within the quarter. So I assisted, and then she was there. Came back to Lagos, and the struggle continued. Then, well, you see, with all this, I am not relenting in my struggle to make sure that I go to school.
Okay.
I was still on vacation, and then progressively, I was promoted.
Okay.
I became a senior sales supervisor.
Okay.
That was in
Same with the Nigerian bottling company?
Yes,
okay.
1977. So in 1977, that's when I had my second wife.
Okay.
So the ovation was now high. Everybody now wants to sell Coca-Cola. In fact, if you hear some of the records they played, so Agabi, all of them, Otonom Mubene Obubeneya, so Maye Obehama. So that these people, if about 200 people at the entrance of Coca-Cola, I tell you 150 are waiting for me there.
Wow.
All from Isaka.
Why do you think you carved that niche? I mean, what was different? What value did you add to people's lives, to customers' lives?
The love I have, the love I have my people.
Okay.
It is Sako itself. It's Sako. Ogbo is enough. You've gotten what you want.
Okay. But did you also give that to other tribes? I mean, it's
of course, you have areas, where you have different routes, and those non-native, they will be accusing their Yoruba colleagues of mine. See this man, see how he's helping his people. Why can't you help us like that? A few of us that are under him are benefiting. I had that credit to myself.
Across.
Of course. And nobody at that time, in the early 80s, and I was transferred out of Lagos.
Okay.
There was a problem for our people. So where was I transferred to? It was Port Harcourt. And I got to Port Harcourt in Transamadi. After routing the area, putting the proper thing down there for them, for the Nigeria Bottling Company, the next transfer was Ibadan, where there was this problem of Ogupa.
Ogupa River.
Yes. And I came there, the whole Esago people in Ibadan, in fact, the true party, they were happy that I have arrived, to assist them. And I actually did. Okay. There's evidence to show there are some of them that actually bought pickups and they were moving to Coca-Cola to help themselves.
Let's take a break now. Let's bring you another short story. An entrepreneur trying to make it, hustling in the society. Probably a similar story with our guest story here. We're about to continue the conversation.
For today we're training students on how to make chicken pie, Scotch eggs, and exotic chin-chin. I trained for my mother. My mother was a caterer at Nestle Food for years. She also later moved to Federal Palace Hotel, and she's my first teacher. And then subsequently, while I was in school, because I'm a lawyer, I had to do some private trainings on my own. I made some self-efforts. And because I'm interested and I'm passionate, I do so many personal trials and error. And alhamdulillah, I'm here today. This is my outside, but it's becoming big, bigger than I expect. I have snacks bars around. I have in Sabo Yaba. I have GRA Keja, Old Secretariat at Lausa. I have on the University Road, Lagos Island. And I have an eatery, Alima's Foods and Bakery, that we just opened this year. It's at Onike by MFM Church. So it's big. We thank God for that. Human capital. You cannot do it alone. You cannot do it all alone. And I realize now that the generation of staff and people who are breeding are people that are not ready to work. They don't have the zeal, the required zeal and passion we have. And then they are not focused. They don't know what they want and they are not ready to, they don't know how to get it. So human capital can be a bit, and of course electricity, and then of course my timing, combining a lot of things. Well, alhamdulillah, we'll do well, we'll get there.
You say all this while that you were sojourning from one part of the country to the other, what stood you out? I mean, why was the clamor for you? Apart from, the circle of people, you also had other people from other tribes adding value, really good customer relationship. What were you doing right? Because you want people to learn from your own prowess.
You see, it all boils out to, self-service. Okay. Some people believe in making money on whatever you do, or enriching yourself because you have the opportunity to do so. But some of us who has a lot of challenges, we went through different challenges, trying to get employment, and so we're pushed away from the police, pushed away from the army, we're not engaged. So we remember how a lot of people suffer. You have feeling. Please be part of them. Empathize when you see them as part of you, and then assist. Come up, assist the less privileged, okay. And everybody will be praying for you.
Okay.
And if you listen, I will say it here. Let anybody cross-check. When I was in Nigerian Bottling Company, what I was doing completely there was to ensure that all our people were happy and fine with me.
Okay. Now, you spent a total of 25 years in Nigerian Bottling Company. That's very rare for maybe the youth of these days. They just do something and then they want to check out and go to a greener pasture. Let's ask you, all the period you were in Nigerian Bottling Company, adding value to people's lives, to businesses, growing businesses, you also took time out to improve yourself even academically. Share that with us.
Yes, you see, if one is determined and prepared, there's nothing you cannot achieve, especially when you have the patience, perseverance, tolerate, and share your challenges with good friends that will give you a proper advice. I had some friends, and I will tell you that those friends were not bad ones. The people, I made them to understand that what I am doing and what I was concerned with is to see how I can establish myself. And in synchronizing and synergizing with some friends, like when I was when I was talking with leaders in these oil companies in Total, they come to me, they need assistance, they want me to supply their wives, and also share part of the Coca-Cola that was the best option of that time to make quick money. I was challenging them also as well that what can you do? And in other words, exchanging present, you know, it's not only selling Coca-Cola. Can't I sell your oil? How do I sell your oil?
Okay.
This is we're part of the thing.
Okay.
And then one of the branch managers said, okay, if you have a wife that can stay in the station, then we can give you dealership.
Okay.
I said, oh, look, I have 2 wives. I will not put my wife there, but I will put a friend. So that's why a friend of mine, you know, took this dealership. I was in Fade. That's the we are up till. In fact, I nurtured that station for 40 years.
Okay, we'll come back to that. We're still chatting with the Igenegbai of South Ibi. We call him the Igenegbai of the world. He is Alhaji Aruna Osumah. You're welcome back. The program is The Magnate, and our guest today is still Alhaji Aruna Osumah, the Igenegbai of South Ibi. He's somebody that is a lover of people, and people clamor around him. How was he able to transit with a global brand bottling drinks to bottling oil and gas? You're welcome back to the program, sir.
Thank you very much.
I hope I put it well.
Yes, okay, fine.
Bottling,
let's
even say it. You from Ibadan. Did you retire at Ibadan, or you now came back to Lagos again where you retired, and then what next? How were you able to transit from bottling drinks? You have carved a niche. One would expect that having bottled drinks for 25 years, you probably even have your own factory, or you have a farm that produces, fruits into fruit juice and all that. But you transited from drinks to oil and gas. Tell us the story, sir.
Yeah, there is a difference between bottling and marketing.
Okay.
I was actually in the market section of the company. So most of my time I'm on the field, not in this production.
Okay.
So in moving from Coca-Cola to oil and gas is also in this marketing that I'm still
so that means
found.
you could market anything.
Yes, now so here we are selling. In fact, all syllables in total. Or even we have I said, we started from Fade,
Okay.
and progressively we continue with the assistance of friends. So we're able to have this location where we are today. That's why I said, whatever you are doing, be sincere. And because when you are sincere, people discover that you are honest, you are not looking, you are not self-centered in all you do. People will be there to ask you a question. And with the questions, look, my friend, we are looking at you, we are trying to look at issues. Let's come together and let's talk about, what happened after this place. So we started talking about what happened after Coca-Cola. So friends, like I said, good friends, we're able to discuss, we're able to look at how we can come into the oil and gas. So in this midstream, friends, like I said, came together and we discussed. I said, okay, we can give you dealership, and where you can put your wife. I said, okay, since I have 2 wives and I have already, set them differently, let me put a friend of mine. After all, a friend helped me. I should also help a friend.
Partnership now.
I brought my friend, and today he's not regretting. He has made it in his life. So he came there. He was in charge while I was still struggling with Nigerian Bottling Company.
Okay.
He eventually met a friend who gave me this location where we are.
Okay.
Got this place, and then I was, got loan, borrow money from banks, set up this place myself.
Okay.
Affiliated it to Total, and after a while, I turned to NNPC, but I have other locations where Total still operates.
Okay.
So we are making progress, and things I can tell you that from my business acumen, I can tell you that over 500 families feed under my from my
adding value, engaging people.
More than 500.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm so interested in your academic pursuit.
Yes.
One would think that, you've already made it in Nigerian Bottling Company. Certificate is not the issue. So why bother to go back to school again to study history and strategic studies?
Yes, I saw it as a vacuum in my life.
Okay.
If you look at my profile, you discover that I was very, very keen to be an academician. But as time permits, I was not able to. And to make sure that I fulfill my planned vision, I make sure that vacuum is filled. If I have not graduated in master, in fact, I have written a book for my mother. If I have not gone to university, 4 corners of the University of Lagos, I will believe that a portion of my life is not completed.
But even with the academic pursuit and value, has it further added value to your corporate existence in your company operation?
Of course, of course. You see, I advise, when you have made all the money in the world, you still need that education, because its own wealth is quite different from the savings. If you have knowledge, I can tell you now that as we are, if I had my BSc, my first degree much earlier, I would have contested for presidency of this Nigeria.